This is my brutally honest review of The Sims 4 Lovestruck. This is a part of a series where I review every pack for The Sims 4, including all of the older ones. According to EA, with The Sims 4 Lovestruck, you can plan hotter dates. The pack is all about attraction for lovers of love. Date nights in an unforgettable city, allegedly. This is going to be a wild one. So in terms of Creator Sim mode, the pack comes with tons of new hairstyles, all of which look really nice. There's also a new Shanice hair, and I'm very happy about that. Women's cast is really strong. There's a lot of nice stuff there. Obviously, there are so many Sims 4 packs, so it's impossible for them to be original at this point, but you can see they made a lot of effort to at least try to be original. They also added some good makeup that's really usable, because I think a lot of the makeup in the game generally looks weird, but the stuff in this pack actually looks fantastic. Weirdly, they locked 2 eyelash swatches behind this pack instead of making them a base game update. Like, I don't know why EA did this. Do they think that Simmers are going to buy this pack because it comes with 2 more eyelash swatches? Like, no, they're not. It's just seemed a bit weird. There's also some good accessories and tattoos which came in the pack. There are some men's hairs. I think they're doing a much better job at fades. The quiffs still look like ice gems, but at the very least they tried. They also added a new beard, which I think looks really nice, although it does glitch out your Sim's face. So this definitely wasn't tested, and I hope they fix it because I think it's the nicest men's beard in the game. On the subject of men, Cass for male Sims has actually quite a few good items this time round. As per usual, the Sims 4, like, they love femboys, like they love the feminine stuff. I've told you guys, like, I think this game has way too many like feminine stuff for male Sims. So I was a little bit disappointed that the majority of men's cast here was very feminine, but they actually added some nice masculine stuff this time, even though there wasn't much. Usually masculine stuff ends up looking a little bit fun dad, but in this pack they actually did a really good job. They even added my real life necklace. Like, guys, you guys know, like, I wear this all the time. They literally added it in the pack. I just know the Sims team hate watch me because I yap on about men's cast in every video. They even added, honestly, they even added some new fades. My current delusion, I'm convinced the Sims team hate watch me and they took all my advice on board, because excluding the feminine stuff, this is the only pack where I actually really liked men's cast. This is the only pack ever where I've actually really enjoyed the cast for male Sims here, and that's really great. A lot of the cast in this pack is bloated with the costumes for the new costume box, but in general, I still think there's actually a decent amount of usable stuff. By the way, they actually added catfish costume. It brings back some grinder dating trauma. I think it's funny, and I really, really like the reference. In general, I would actually say this is probably, is it my favorite Sims 4 pack for cast? I actually think it could be. I really, really enjoyed it. It gets a 9 out of 10 for Cass. Now, build mode here is very wacky, very over the top. It reminds me so much of the Sims one. Like, the leopard print flooring and walls is absolutely insane. There's even like some weird kinky leather thing. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how usable all this stuff is outside of building strip clubs, but I think it's a really interesting theme that we've never really seen before. As well as all the really dramatic, colorful stuff, there's also some like dingy, moldy things. Like, the whole pack is so ghetto for build mode. That's the best way I can describe it, and I absolutely love it. Honestly, if you use Wicked Whims, I think this pack is going to revolutionize your strip clubs if you like building them. I think the architectural stuff is really nice as well. It almost looks like CC. The pack comes with some gym equipment and random decorations, although unfortunately the dumbbells are not functional that come in this pack. Also, a nice touch for builders who like making European style homes. The pack actually comes with beams for the ceiling, which I don't believe we've had before yet. There's also a new lot trait to attract more singles to a lot, which I think is very much needed. My only criticism is that there isn't enough furniture. There are so many seats. You may as well call this pack My First Chair Stuff, because your Sims will get one of everything to sit on. Not everything to sit on. I can personally think of a couple of things that you could sit on, which are not chairs, not that I would know, of course. Bottom jokes aside, I do wish there was more furniture for other rooms, as I don't feel like you can make any kind of full build with this pack. It's a lot stronger for decorating, but even then, the pack is bloated with a lot of weird things like wall art and posters, which are just 2D drawings, not actual objects. There is so many objects missing, especially objects with gameplay functionality. I can't really justify this pack being value for money because it feels like a game pack's worth of stuff, not just with build mode, like with everything, which I'll go into later, but specifically focusing on build mode only. I think it's incredible, chaotic, and so Sims 1, but there's just not quite enough, particularly in terms of gameplay objects. Also, why is a heart-shaped hot tub not there? This is a Sims staple. Of all Sims packs it could have come in, it is this pack. Why didn't they put it in there? I feel really indifferent about this one because I like the stuff that's there, but you can't really do anything with it because there's just not enough. Technically, if you look at the number of assets, it's probably kind of in line with what an expansion normally is, but a lot of the assets, as I said, are just things like 2D posters, so I don't really think it all counts. I'm sorry, build mode gets a 5 out of 10. So the world has 3 neighborhoods with 13 lots and only 3 pre-made households. The builds in every neighborhood do look nice, although I will be honest, there are some mistakes with some of them which should have passed quality control. For example, one was missing a door into the bedroom and you have to walk through the bathroom to get to the bedroom. Another apartment doesn't actually have a door to one of the rooms, so you can't get in there at all. The nightclub also has a glitched floor on the curved wall section. I know the houses in this world were built by real Simmers, and I do think the builds look very, very nice, but I feel like EA could have done a little bit better with quality control to make sure that these small issues weren't happening, because this pack is literally launched with a room which doesn't have a door to it, which I don't think is acceptable. And in general, I think the builders must have just had a really hard time on their hands, because simply this pack just doesn't come with enough stuff, so you could tell they were really limited in terms of what they could actually put in the builds, and it's a shame because I feel like they could have been a lot better if there was more build stuff in this pack. Just to confirm, there are no apartments coming with this pack. It comes with 2 rooftop apartments, which are technically not apartments. Your Sims enter there via an elevator, but it's just a normal lot. Also, I wish they would stop adding a vacation rental in every single new world that they do. They don't need to exist. Instead, I'd rather see the house replaced with a real family to at least give us some more townies to live in this world. I feel like this world follows the same terrible fate that all Sims 4 worlds follow, in that they made each neighborhood huge to create the illusion that it's open world, but it just ends up feeling really dead and empty and difficult to navigate with all the fake lots, and you can't tell what's fake and real. I don't know why the Sims team do this, as the game is literally not coded to facilitate these big worlds. It's coded to facilitate tiny streets like in Willow Creek, and I think they need to stop. Anyway, this pack comes with hotels. Only joking. It comes with a building that looks like a motel, which acts like a new rabbit hole woohoo location, but it's not really a hotel or a motel. This new world is very pretty. Pretty bad, pretty lifeless, pretty deserted, pretty ugly. Even the map artwork here is so rushed. Just look at the top of the map. It's just random squares. It's just random squares. They gave up. They did the bottom half of the map, then I couldn't be bothered to do the top. Also, some of the lots don't touch the pavement, and it really pisses me off. It's just such a small thing, but it's so annoying. As per usual, the world is awful and has absolutely nothing to do other than the food stall, a fake rabbit hole motel, and there's a gift shop in there. The Sims 4, compared to every other Sims game, has such a small amount of lots, and I don't think it's acceptable considering it's allegedly an upgrade to The Sims 1, 2, and 3, and it makes it really hard to actually do anything with the gameplay in this pack because there aren't very many brand new date locations. The whole world is a semi-pretty flop. Not that there's anything wrong with having a semi, but considering this is a labelled as an expansion rather than a game pack, I expected a fully hard 8-inch erect dick of a world, but we didn't get it. You guys know it's tradition by now that I give Sims 4 Worlds a horrific review because all of them are horrific. It gets a 2 out of 10. So having a look at gameplay, firstly, the pack comes with turn-ons and turn-offs that you set in CAS, and honestly, I actually thought a lot of them were really good. The only weird one was outfit color. Who the fuck cares what outfit color somebody else is wearing? Sorry, I'm not dating you. You're wearing a red t-shirt. Like, it's just so dumb, like, shut up. In my opinion, they should have removed that and instead put hair color into a physical attributes category along with body rate, eye color, and age, maybe. To be honest, I think the romance style thing was totally unnecessary and just makes flirting a lot more annoying in game. The pack also comes with new relationship dynamics, which can change over time or set in CAS, which are exactly the same functioning as the growing together family dynamics. I don't know if you guys have growing together, but I find the family dynamics very annoying, and the new romance dynamics are the same. Like, they're just a little bit annoying for me. There's also a new romance consultant rabbit hole career, which has 2 different paths, and it has some work from home tasks, but really I don't think it's that fun. It's just a normal rabbit hole career. I feel like seeing this pack feels like a game pack. Maybe they could have made it a live career in order to justify the price point a bit more, but it's just a standard career. Now, usually, okay, when a Sims 4 pack comes out, like, I stay up all night trying to do my review, making sure I get tons of hours of gameplay in, like I'm surviving off Red Bull, like up until literally like 5 a.m. And you know what? It only took me a couple of hours to get through this pack. And that was me like trying to find like new things I could show you. Like, I was trying really hard. And it genuinely just took me a couple of hours. Like, there's barely anything here, guys. I need to stress to you from the offset, this is not an expansion pack. This is a game pack in disguise. You know, a lot of recent Sims 4 expansion packs have been quite simple, but this one like really takes the piss. I was planning a whole Let's Play series of this pack. Like, I don't even know if I could do it anymore. We may as well look at Cupid's Corner, the new dating app. In theory, it's a fun idea because you can take a selfie for your profile and meet new Sims, including Sims from the gallery. Although importing Sims from the gallery doesn't actually work. Like it just doesn't work. It's broken. So consider one of the major gameplay features broken on launch. Lovely, great start. The only way I could get the Cupid's Corner dating app to work, which is to turn off Sims from the gallery in the settings. So that's a real bummer. Another flaw is with the selfie uploader because the Sims 4's in-game camera is so horrendous, even with a high-level photography skills. So your Sims display photo will always look pretty awful. And another flaw with this pack, which actually is more of a base game flaw, is when you make a Sim in CAS, they are by default romantically attracted to neither men nor women. So on Cupid's Corner, it makes your Sim look asexual, even though they're not really. I just feel like they need to change that. If you match with a Sim, you can go on a date and there are different date goals that you can set. Aside from cross-pack activities, which I'll come on to in the cross-pack play section of this review, I think there's a really small amount of date activities, and I'm really disappointed this pack didn't come with any new date activities. Even the new stargazing interaction is technically from the outdoor retreat pack, so it's not really new. Also, the new community lots in this world don't have like things to do for every one of the new activities, so it leaves you kind of stuck. I'm really disappointed that there are no like new activities because I feel like in order to actually bulk this pack out, they should have done it. I'm also disappointed there's no new community lot types because even with the date activities, it's still just base game dates but repackaged in a slightly different way. When you're on a date, it's important to know about a Sim's romance preferences, for example, physical attraction, personality, relationship preferences, love styles. In the pie menu, there's a new relationship tab, and oh my gosh, if you have dyslexia, good luck. In general, all these new romance styles, relationship types, turn-ons, turn-offs, and new traits, and relationship dynamics, along with the base game sentiments and mootlets and notifications and the traditional romance bar, it's too much. I told you guys before, like, real life me is just happy with a guy who's emotionally available, has an average sized dick, and knows how to douche properly. All the other minor details don't matter, and this pack makes it feel like they matter in a way that's not fun or meaningful. It's just kind of confusing and annoying. There are so many things to think about here. It feels very unnecessarily complicated. I feel like The Sims is one of those games that most people just play casually to mess around with. Like, it's not that deep. The Sims by definition is a sandbox game, and I feel like this pack makes dating have way too many prerequisites, and it doesn't feel enjoyable for me personally. Also, a lot of the new dating interactions about figuring out another Sims, like romance style or how they feel in your relationship, it feels like a chronically online virgin's interpretation of how dating works as opposed to how it actually works. You guys are going to clip this out of context, cancel me on Reddit for saying this. I don't care, because it's true. Nobody is asking any of these weird dating questions in real life, let alone like in The Sims. Do you know what I mean? And by the way, the new dating system is totally broken. Event interactions won't complete correctly, and because Townie AI is so dumb, it's impossible to do anything. At one point, my Sims started doing press-ups while the other was cowpoke dancing, and he was stuck, okay, cowpoke dancing, and I couldn't interact with him for ages because he was stuck. And in general, like, you guys just know like how severe Sims 4 AI is if you try and go in a community lot or anything. Like, this is horrendous. My wedding stories level bad. I'm telling you now, it is that bad. And because the social pie menu for The Sims 4 is so complicated, and this pack has just made it even more complicated, it was impossible to find most of the appropriate interactions to complete the event missions. One of my Sims had the new romantically reserved trait, and for that trait he was unable to access many of the new romance interactions as he has to get to know a Sim better first, which I actually thought was a really nice addition. My other Sim had the love bug trait, which is basically the opposite, and it basically made her keen to go through the stages of dating a lot quicker. To be fair, I actually quite like the new traits. I think they were cool. And in general, the pack does come with a lot new romance interactions, which remind me a lot of The Sims 2. I think they're all very, very good. This pack also introduces Sims autonomously asking you to get married and move in and form a relationship. And at first, guys, I was like, yes, finally, Townies can actually initiate some things, which is, you know, consequential gameplay. It's really good. It throws a spanner in the works. But no, guys, this was really bad. I can't... Like, seriously, get some popcorn, sit the fuck down, you are not ready. So Shanice was sitting at a bar and she got chatting to a guy, and they did about literally 3 flirty interactions, but I decided to make them go on a date. And literally, as soon as they went on this date, like literally as soon as they went on a date in the park, they immediately developed a steamy romance dynamic. The Townie then immediately asked my Sim if they could be in a relationship. He then immediately asked if he could move in with us, from which of course I said no, as we were literally less than 5 minutes into the first date. And then the game prompted us to change our relationship dynamic from a steamy one to a strained one. And then the next day I called him over to my house so I could show you guys a new picnic blanket woohoo interaction, and he literally asked to marry me. So I said no. Even worse, about 1 hour later he asked to marry me again. What the hell is going on? I don't think it was coded to act like this. I don't think this was the intention. I feel like something's gone messed. Something's wrong with it. Do you know what I think something's wrong with it? That is not normal. No, it's not. It was the most like bizarre, chaotic Sims thing I've experienced from this pack, which is great for Sims YouTubers like me because it's entertaining content, but I don't know if you guys are going to find it funny or annoying. In general though, guys, a lot of the new pack features, for example, the new relationship dynamics and turn-ons and turn-offs and date system and everything, basically, it just feels like a little bit of weird bloating in order to justify this pack existing. But I feel like pretty much all of the key features in this pack were quite unnecessary and ended up feeling really complex and disjointed. Also, I thought this pack would come with one-sided relationships, but it didn't. You still have the traditional romance bar, and And I just want to stress as well, this traditional romance bar is in conflict with the new like relationship satisfaction system, which also conflicts with the sentiments, which also conflict with the turn ons and turn offs, which also kind of conflict with your Sims moodlet. Sometimes like everything is conflicting with each other. It's too much. I can't handle it. I just feel like this pack should not have existed. If you have a strained relationship, you can go for couples counseling, which is just a rabbit hole with text boxes. I guess it's okay. There's also supposed to be a brand new date type, which is to like fix a bad relationship if your relationship has gone sour. Although I make my Sims relationship go sour, but because their relationship was sour, the game thought that they didn't know each other well enough to ask the other Sim on a date, so we couldn't actually do this relationship repair date. So it's like is the oxymoron the right word or something? Like it was impossible to do, so I can't even show you that because it didn't work for me. The new romance skill also felt a bit unnecessary to me. It basically just makes building up this skill a prerequisite to some of the flirting interactions on top of all the other prerequisites a pack puts you through. It does come with a new scope the room interaction, which allows you to see Sims in a lot, which could be a potential match for you, which is pretty cool. A feature that was ripped from Wicked Whims, Wonderful Whims. In fact, I'm going to say right now, if you're a PC map player, don't get this pack. Just get Wicked or Wonderful Whims and the Sim to Dating app mod and you're sorted. As I mentioned previously, the pack comes with a picnic blanket. You can eat food on it, woohoo, gaze at the stars. Unfortunately, you can only have 2 Sims sit on it at a time to eat, so you couldn't use it with a group of friends or a family, for example, to sit on at a park and eat, which is disappointing. The pack comes with a new board game object, and I would show you what it does, but it glitched out and I literally tried 6 times to make it work. Although I have seen other Sims creators use this board game, and it's not like that exciting. It doesn't really do anything. They just kind of sit and talk to each other, but with like a card in their hand. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely just some strengths about Lovestruck. It's very naughty. I like the costume box, for example, dressing my Sim in a gimp suit. I really like the new sexy dance that you can do. I think it's really funny. I like that you can woohoo in a blanket, woohoo in a closet for people like me. And the vibrating heart bed is back. Finally, I genuinely never thought it would come back to The Sims 4, but finally it has after 10 years. I do think it's 10 years too late, but at least it's here. Although this pack does have a lot more negatives than positives. When Lovestruck was first announced, I was like, yes, we are getting back some of the Sims 1 naughtiness, the Sims 1 chaos. It's going to make dating feel so much more fun again. But instead, we got a really overly dramatic and complicated dating system, which is so hard to understand. I genuinely find dating in this pack harder than dating in real life. And like, if you've seen my vlogs where I've spoken so much about my terrible dating life, like that's such a big thing for me to say. I honestly just feel like the only thing I like about this pack is the new costume box and the heart bed. That's basically it. And the cast. It's time for some constructive criticism because this pack needs it. I feel like they should have brought back the Sims 1 cake with like, you know, where the dancers pop out of it and dance. That would have been really funny. As I said before as well, this is a huge missed opportunity to not bring back the heart-shaped hot tub. I don't know why they didn't. The world is South American inspired, so they could have done some kind of like festival or like carnival, kind of like the City Living festivals, which would have been appropriate. The fake decorative dumbbells in the pack could have been functional, but really, I feel like this should have been a game pack. Comparing this pack to My Wedding Stories, which is a similar theme and also has very similar gameplay features, this pack, in my opinion, doesn't feel like it comes with anything more than what My Wedding Stories came with, only with some very minor additions. For example, the Cupid's Corner dating app and My Wedding Stories didn't come with an app. Like, it feels like it's on the same gameplay level, not just in terms of bugs and glitches, but just in terms of the amount of gameplay that's in there and the type of gameplay that's in there. Yet this is being upsold as an expansion. This is another case of an expansion pack falling short, where EA are just ripping off their customers in order to line the pockets of their shareholders, and that's at the core of why I'm really disappointed disappointed with this pack. Even if it was a game pack, I still don't think I would find it enjoyable. Just as how My Wedding Stories was supposed to make weddings better, but it actually made them worse, I feel like Lovestruck attempts to make dating better, but ends up making dating worse too. One can only dream they'll one day care about releasing quality content like they used to back in the day. The Sims 4 Lovestruck has some naughtiness and chaos that will feel nostalgic for OG Sims 1 and 2 players, but the pack is let down by the unnecessary and confusing additions to dating, as well as feeling like it's a game pack's worth of stuff. Even if money is no object, I still don't feel like this pack is worth your storage space, as it just makes dating worse, just like how My Wedding Stories made weddings worse. You get the picture. I like a few things, like a handful of small things in this pack, but I can't really justify you buying this pack because it just doesn't need to exist, and it doesn't need to be priced at the price point it has been priced at. It is getting a 3 out of 10 for gameplay. I'm sorry. So in my pack reviews, I like to look at cross-pack play. The indoor fan doesn't seem to function with seasons, and the water cooler doesn't function with for rent. I feel like at least the fan should have been functional with seasons, just like the for rent air conditioner is, for example. Living in a penthouse is not like renting in City Living or even like the ones in Eco Lifestyle, which is disappointing. And with seasons, I found that this world rains way too much. I thought it was supposed to be sunny most of the time based on the theme of the world, but it's not. Now, in terms of the actual date event goals, there are only 3 cost pack ones. One of them is skating, which is seasons. Another one is playing in the snow, which is seasons. And another one is playing with animals, which is cats and dogs or cottage living or horse ranch. Where the flying fuck are all the other dating activities from other packs? EA recently released a Get Dating bundle, which includes get together, movie hangout stuff, and bowling night. Why is bowling not a cross-pack dating activity? Why is watching a movie not one? There are so many activities which come in so many packs, and I don't understand why they only added 3 extremely random cross-pack activities, but they didn't include all the other ones from other packs that could have been used for dating. I don't understand it. The fact that they literally just couldn't be bothered is so disappointing to me. In terms of some minor positives, you can disable occult sims from the Cupid's Corner dating app. Also, the costume box includes costumes from other packs. The new gift shop in the world sells nectar if you own Horse Ranch and jewelry if you own Crystal Creations. The new romance turn-ons and offs also include some cross-pack compatibility. In terms of cross-pack play in general though, I am extremely let down by the fact that the brand new date activities don't include cross-pack ones, because like it's so obvious why they should have done this, because it would have opened up dating in terms of like all the other packs, kind of like how Get Together includes clubs for activities across all packs. I don't know why they didn't do something similar with this, because it just seems so blatantly obvious. I'm so disappointed with the cross-pack play with this pack because it was so necessary. It gets a 3 out of 10 for it. I also like to have a look at performance issues in my pack reviews because The Sims 4 is chock-a-block full of them. The new beard glitches the face of your Sims, as I mentioned before. Also, as I said before, Cupid's Corner does not work with Sims from the gallery enabled, so I'm pretty disappointed that this major gameplay feature was literally broken on launch. Of course, as I've mentioned, dates with the new dating activities are horrendous. Even though I completed the correct interactions for the event, a lot of them were not being marked as complete, so most of my dates failed, not because I did a bad job, but because the game was being dumb. Sims were constantly playing musical chairs on the dates, and of course Judith fucking Ward turns up. This pack allegedly came with a base game update to prevent other Sims from interrupting dates, but I can confirm sometimes townies did still interrupt my dates, although it did happen less frequently. When performing the new dance interaction that comes with the pack, Sims won't autonomously go inside and dance next to the stereo like they would do for any other kind of dancing interaction in the game. Instead, my Sims were just dancing weirdly outside. As I mentioned in the gameplay section of my review, I couldn't get the new board game to work once. In general, I feel like a lot of the glitches here were caused by the base game rather than caused by Lovestruck itself, although it does affect Lovestruck, which is why it's really important to consider it. The terribly coded foundations of this game made it so that it was impossible to do the new dates. Every single date I went on with my Sims glitched out in multiple different ways, which is just unacceptable. One may argue that technically The Sims 4 Lovestruck is not broken, but it's the base game that's broken. But the fact that the base game is broken means that this pack is subsequently broken and you can't use it as you would want to use it. This is My Wedding Stories level bad, as I said before. Like, it is that bad. This pack gets a 0 out of 10 for performance, considering the fact that nothing worked as intended. The Sims 4 Lovestruck gets an overall score of I'm sorry, it gets an overall score of 3.6 out of 10. On a personal note, guys, out of all of the Sims 4 packs that have ever been released, this was the #1 pack I was looking forward to. I've said for months, like, I just want the Sims 1 Chaos back, and they've given it us, but I didn't get the chaos I wanted. They gave me chaos, but they gave me the wrong kind of chaos. I do not think any game pack disguised as an expansion pack they release in the future will ever be good anymore. I just don't think the game can handle it anymore. I think they need to hurry up with the production and development of Project Renee, because it's getting a little bit out of hand now. It's really out of hand. If you enjoyed this Sims 4 pack review, you might enjoy one of the other pack reviews recommended here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.